Hi, welcome back to OCVarsity.com and this week's boys basketball report. It's a very exciting time of year, getting close to playoffs, Mr. Fryer. I'm Dan Albano here with Steve Fryer. And Steve, tell us what we need to know for the announcements coming up Sunday. Boys basketball pairings are announced starting in the morning, Sunday morning.
Yeah, they do. And here's pretty much how it works. If you finish in the top half of your final standings, you're guaranteed entry into the playoffs.
Right.
And if you're a fourth or fifth place team, you might have a chance to go, but it depends on which division you're in, because every division, there's 12 playoff divisions. They all have 32 team brackets. Some of these brackets will have not 32 automatic qualifiers. Okay. So there will be room for an at-large team, for a fourth or fifth place team to file for at-large consideration. Then there's a panel that decides if you're good enough to get in this at-large bracket. In some divisions, there will be more than 32 automatic qualifiers.
Okay.
In those divisions, next Wednesday, February 17th, there will be wild card round games to sort of whittle it down to a 32-team bracket to start the first round. So it's kind of hard to figure out exactly which divisions, will have a lot of automatic qualifiers. You can do it, but it takes hours to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, there will be some fourth and fifth place teams in the county that'll go to the playoffs, but not a whole lot.
Okay, what are the requirements for those fourth or fifth place teams? Is it? You just have to be fourth or fifth, or are there any requirements on being 500 or something like that?
No, not at all. Like in football, like you're referring to there, if you got to be 500 or better to be at large consideration. There used to be this rule a couple years ago that you had to have 12 minimum overall victories to qualify for a large consideration. They did away with that rule a couple years ago when they came up with this new point system that decides which divisions you're in, and this is how they do it. They first place you in a division based on your enrollment, and then there's a point system over a 4-year playoff profile. The previous 4 years, you get so many points for a first round win, so many for a second round win, a lot more points if you've won, a CIF Southern Section title or gone to state, and so these point values will move you up some divisions. Good example, modern day boys basketball. By enrollment, they're like a 2 AA school. But because they've been so successful the last 4 years, they picked up a lot of points. Now they're way up into Division 1 AA, which is the top division.
Okay. There's a couple leagues, Steve, that are particularly deep in Orange County.
Yeah, there are.
South Coast League, there's been a lot of parity.
Yep.
Who can figure out exactly, besides probably the most consistent team in the league's been Mission Viejo.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Are there some fourth and fifth place teams out of that league? Maybe even the Seaview League, too, when you start thinking about some of the teams in that league. Are there a couple teams that you think could maybe make some noise in the playoffs? Maybe make the playoffs out of those leagues?
It really, again, it depends on how the divisions look and, which teams have, which divisions have room for at-large teams. We're talking about the South Coast League. Mission Viejo clinched the division championship Tuesday. And, Dana Hills is the second best team, and Capital Valley's been really up and down. They're the number 3 team.
Right.
Tesoro, Aliso have beaten some good teams, Tesoro beat Capo. Aliso has beaten Dana.
Orange Lutheran they beat.
Yeah, they beat Orange Lutheran in the Estancia Coast Classic Championship game in December. But I think, those teams might be on the outside looking in, even though they're probably good enough to win a couple of the leagues out there in Orange County.
Right. Keeping with some of the other teams in Orange County, what's your take on Corona Del Mar? How good are the Sea Kings, who are winning a ton of games right now, just going right through the Pacific Coast League? They got some good wins, non-league. And what do you think about Edison, the way they've hung tough in the Sunset League without Kyle Boswell, and what a job Edison's done? Can these teams do something in the playoffs?
Both teams have yes, both of them can. Especially look out for Corona Del Mar in their division. Corona Del Mar, they've got a very good player, Danny Cheek, a very good point guard, Clayton Ragsdale, Ryan Schachter, an excellent coach over there. That's really a team to watch in the playoffs. You mentioned Edison. They lost Kyle Boswell to a hand injury. Gosh, what was it, last year? He was out with a back injury. The sophomore year, he set the school single-season scoring record. This kid is a great player, and he's so gosh darn snake-bit. It's sad to see. But Dylan Garrity and Ryan Walker have stepped it up for them, and Rich Boyce is a heck of a basketball coach at Edison.
All right, before we get out of this segment here, Steve Fryer, fill us in a little bit on Ocean View. There's a team that's playing some good ball.
Yeah.
We haven't talked maybe enough about Ocean View. What division are they in? What's the prospects for the Seahawks?
They're 3 AA, and they they won a CIF title last year and got all the way to the state finals. They look really good. Most of those guys from last year's team are back. Avery Johnson, Anthony Brown, who's signed with Stanford. Johnson's starting to get a lot of recruiting attention now. Very good team all around. Billy Keller's a very good guard. Aaron Delgado, another guard who can really shoot the 3 for him. To me, their key guy is Ryan Okwudabonye, the big guy in the middle, about 6'7". When he is on his game and getting a lot of rebounds, he makes that team a lot better. And they got decent depth there with Steve Yoon coming off the bench and a few others. That's a pretty good team at Ocean View, and they're number 2 in the rankings right now behind Mater Dei, and they're a solid number 2. And it'd be fun to see them play Mater Dei and see what happens. And unfortunately, they won't play each other. They're not in the same playoff division. They never wound up in the same tournament. They're both in Nike Extravaganza. They didn't play each other. I wish they would have, but that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. All right, well, so Sunday morning, starting Sunday morning about 10:30, 11 o'clock, OC Varsity is going to be your destination for following the boys basketball coverage. Of course, Steve Fryer's coverage on all the release of the playoff brackets as we work our way through that morning and afternoon time with all the pairings for all the boys basketball coverage. So be sure to tune back next on this coming Sunday on OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.